Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Oxhorn, and this video is a collection of the best quality of life mods available today for Fallout 4. These are mods that don't give you amazing cheats, they don't give you awesome textures, they don't unlock new abilities. These mods just fix things in the game that need to be fixed that make your life better. Now, I'm a PC gamer. I play Fallout 4 on the PC. I do not own an Xbox or a PS4, so there's no way for me to test these mods for those platforms. Every single mod I'm going to mention is for the PC. That said, many of them are also for the Xbox One and the PS4. So if you see a mod that you want, do a little research, open up Google, and see if you can find it for your desired console. First on the list, of course, goes without saying, it's the Unofficial Fallout 4 patch. This mod by Arthmore and the Unofficial Patch Project team fixes hundreds of small little bugs, from spelling mistakes to quests that don't work correctly, making your life so much better. Don't think about it, don't worry about it, just download it and install it. Next up is Loot Detector, Scrapper Corpse Highlighting by XATHOS. Have you ever survived an intense firefight, killing dozens of enemies, only to lose their bodies? Maybe it was too dark outside, maybe it was rainy, maybe you lost their bodies in water and you couldn't loot the legendary item that you knew dropped on one of them. This mod fixes that for you by highlighting the dead corpses of the enemies that you just killed until you finish looting their bodies. Once you finish looting their bodies, the highlight disappears. You can also turn the highlight off by simply lowering your weapon. In order to get this mod to work, you not only have to install the mod, but you also need to have rank 1 of Scrapper. But Scrapper is a perk you should have anyway, so it's not that big of a deal. This will make sure that you never end a firefight and lose the bodies, making your gameplay a whole lot more fun. There's a patch for this called Loot Detector Scrapper Corpse Highlighting DLCRobots Fix by DM that simply adds the same functionality for the Rust Devils and robots from Automatron. Next up is Bugfix for Dismissed Companion Endless Babble by Space Fiddle. I don't know about you, but when I first started playing the game, I collected all of these cool companions, and then when I was done with them and I wanted to move on to the next companion, I would send the companion back to my home base, whatever settlement I was working on. But whenever I fast traveled into my home base, all of my companions would talk at the same time incessantly.
Fist was weak leader. Strong glad to be rid of him.
Another day, another assignment.
So you got a ride of choice? I'm usually a mentat ghoul myself. Makes me feel intellectual.
Strong want to smash something. So much walking. Want to do more fighting.
This is a far cry from working with the gunners. Glad that's behind me.
Someday, super mutants kill everything. Strong getting hungry. Want someone to eat. Humans all look funny.
Rather be off murdering a pint. This'll do.
Most folks are just looking for a hand. All we gotta do is offer.
World is bigger than Strong knew.
It got so bad that I solved this problem in my game by exiling each of the companions I was not working with to some remote settlement. This mod fixes the issue. It adds a cooldown timer to companion audio. You can choose between 10 and 15 minutes between lines, 20 and 40 minutes between lines, or 60 and 90 minutes between lines. Now, if you already have a companion with you, you have to dismiss the companion and then reclaim the companion before the fix will work. Here I am at my new settlement, Kingsport Lighthouse. I have 4 companions here. Let's see if we can find them and see if it worked. There's Preston. Nope, nothing to say. There's Kate. Nope, she doesn't have anything to say. There's Curie. And she's silent. And there's Piper. She's silent too. Works as described. Thank you very much, Space Fiddle. Along similar lines, there's You Talk Too Much by A.K. Celsior. All NPCs in the game seem to focus on you, the sole survivor. You are the center of their attention. It's like they're invisible to everyone else in the game but you. You walk within 100 feet of them and they start hailing you down, trying to start a conversation. From enemies to settlers, everyone is obsessed with you. You Talk Too Much fixes this problem by not only reducing the space between you and the NPC before the dialogue will trigger, but also putting a cooldown timer on all dialogue from the same kind of NPC. For example, if you have a settlement filled with settlers, this is likely your experience every time you visit the settlement.
Crops coming in pretty good. That place is nothing but trouble.
If you ain't been up to see Grey Garden, you should go. Whole place is run by robots.
Farming's as honest work gets.
Can't remember the last time I had clean fingernails.
Easy living? This ain't.
Yeah?
Ain't looking for trouble, I hope.
Yes?
Lost track of how many blisters I got.
Need to get back to Diamond City one of these days. Biggest town I ever saw.
You hear about that farm run by ghouls? Isn't that something?
They all have something to say, but it's the same thing over and over again. It's not interesting. And sometimes you're just doing some work. You gotta work on the settlement, or maybe you're working on a gun or your power armor. You just want these guys to shut up. With this mod installed, you enjoy the beauty of pure silence. Beauty to my ears. It doesn't negatively affect quests or other NPC interactions. It just shuts off this flavored dialogue that Bethesda has put in the game to make it more interesting so that it happens less often. A wonderful welcome addition to this list of quality of life mods. Thank you very much, AK Celsior. Next up is faster terminal displays by Old Nick. In the base game, when you go to visit a terminal, it takes forever for the text to appear on the screen. Now you can get around this by pressing your action button to automatically go to the end of the page, but that's a whole lot of keyboard and button clicks. This simple mod by Old Nick simply makes terminal displays load faster. This is what it looks like with the mod installed. Simple, beautiful, it works, I love it. Next up is Power Armor Animation Changes by SOMBERX. This mod does a number of things, including giving your power armor more heroic poses when you're not in it. But the reason I include it is because this mod gives you the option to speed up the animations when you enter and exit your power armor. So just for reference, this is what it looks like when you exit and enter power armor. And this is what it looks like with the mod installed. For someone playing a power armor character, you're getting in and out of power armor all the time, and you don't need to see the wonderful animation in quite as much detail as the vanilla game gives us. It's a wonderful addition. Thank you for that, SOMBERX. Next is XO1 Invisible Flashlight removed by CASTELL. This is something that just bugged me. You've got this flashlight on your power armor helmet that's this big circle, and it looks great, but then you get the XO1 power armor helmet, and the light comes out of the eyes. So you'd think that the light cast on the ground would be in the shape of eyes, but no, Bethesda didn't think that far ahead. No, they made it a big circle. That's right, it looks like there's a flashlight strapped to your helmet, like all of the other helmets. This mod fixes it by making the shape of the light cast from the eyes of your XO1 helmet look like the shape of eyes. A small, simple bit of an immersion fix that I really love. Thank you, CASTELL. Next is SHAIKUJIN'S Better Warning for Settlements Being Attacked by SHAIKUJIN. Now, if you're playing a Minuteman playthrough and you're the general of the Minutemen and your settlements are really important to you, naturally you want to go and defend them when they get attacked. But this is what happens when your settlement gets attacked in the game. Did you see that? It's easy to miss. A tiny little text notification appears in the upper left-hand corner of the screen, but it's so brief that if you're AFK for a little bit or you look down for a brief moment, you could completely miss it, and you'll only know that your settlement is under attack by checking out your quest log. This mod changes things so that when your settlement is being attacked, a big sign appears in the middle of your screen that does not go away until you click OK. In this way, you always know when your settlement is being attacked, so you can choose to respond or not. Simple, and it works. Thank you, SHAIKUJIN. Next up is Lowered Weapons by LesMass666. When you have your weapon drawn in the game, the weapon is always pointed away from you. No matter where you turn, no matter what you do, it always points forward. This can get a little annoying if all you really want to do is look around at the world, but you don't want to lower your weapon. You've got this giant weapon filling up half your screen. Lowered weapons changes the animation of your weapon so that when you're not actively firing it, you retract the weapon closer to your body. This reduces the amount of space it takes up on the screen, and it's much more realistic. That said, it doesn't work very well for large weapons like Gatling lasers, missile launchers, and Fat Men. It actually takes up more of the screen, making it harder to see. This mod also has not been updated for over a year, so it doesn't support any of the new weapons that came with any of the DLCs, so it's for vanilla weapons only. But if you're using a smaller vanilla weapon like a pistol or a rifle, and you want to lower your weapon when you're not actively shooting it, this mod fits the bill. Thank you very much, Lesma666. Next up is Remove Dogmeat's Whining audio by CLICKBEAST. I don't know about you, but I find it really annoying when Dogmeat whines and whimpers all over the place. It's not just when he gets wounded. When you're exploring the wasteland, he just runs around whining the entire time. It's really, really annoying. This mod simply changes many of his whining noises to blank audio, so that effectively, he's mostly silent. Now the drawback to this is if you actually go to talk to Dogmeat, sometimes you don't hear any audio from him when you expect a response. That said, it's not that big of a deal to me. I'm much more happy with him being a little bit quieter around me than whining all the time. This mod doesn't remove all of them, just the most noisy ones, and the ones that are used most often. Thanks very much, ClickBeast. Next up is Settler Sandbox Expansion by Axel356258. Nothing is more disheartening than to dump your heart and soul into a new settlement to make it the perfect place for your settlers, only to have them crowd around one corner of the settlement. This happens in Vault 88, Hangman's Alley, and it is so annoying. Additionally, you can build on the overpass of Finch Farm and Grey Garden, but settlers don't walk there. They have a very hard time getting up and down any steps you build to get to those overpasses. This mod changes by increasing the settler walking radius for each of the settlements in the game. This works both horizontally and vertically, so that settlers will both walk greater distances around your settlement and climb greater heights. This mod works beautifully for Vault 88. Forgive the choppiness of this footage. There's so much going on in my Vault 88 that it seriously stresses my system. I'm working on fixing it, but just to show you that it works, here I am near the water pump in the east sector, and as you can see, my settlers are here farming. And here I am in the University Point Pharmacy, which is the furthest reaches of Vault 88, and yet my settler is assigned to her chemist shop, just as she is supposed to be. And here we are at Grey Garden, and as you can see, settlers have made this home. It's a wonderful fix for Hangman's Alley. For any of you who have built in Hangman's Alley, you know that settlers only use half of the settlement. But as you can see, this mod makes it so that settlers use the entire floor of the settlement. They climb up the stairs to their posts, and in my game, I even have them on the roof. And as you can see, this settler has climbed up the roofs and has manned her post. Looking over there, you see my rooftop farm over there, and you can see the settlers farming on the roof of Hangman's Alley. So it does work. After you install it, you may need to fast travel to a settlement far away, save, exit, reload that save, fast travel to a location near to the settlement you're testing, and then physically walk there for the cell to load properly. But once done, everything should be in working order and your settlements will take full advantage of the entire settlement size. Truly a must-have mod for anyone getting serious into settlement building. Thank you, Axel. And next is the elevator buttons fix by Seb263. So if you have the Contraptions Workshop DLC, you know that we get these wonderful elevators, and I wanted to make really good use of them. So I built an elevator system for my Grey Garden settlement. The problem is that the 4-story elevator has a weird glitch where if you come back to your settlement, you find the elevator control buttons hovering mid-air. If you go back to the elevator to try and use it, you can't, because the switches are not in the elevator. You have to use a jetpack to fly to these hovering switches just to tag one to get the elevator to work. And for the longest time, I thought Bethesda would fix this. It's such a simple fix. but they never did. And so Seb263 took it upon himself to fix it for us. After installing the mod, go back to your settlement and the buttons are exactly where they're supposed to be. It's such a stupid thing to go wrong, but it's so annoying, and I'm grateful for the fix. Thank you, Seb. Next up is Home Plate Connected by DLCRobots. When you finally have the caps needed to go and buy your home plate in Diamond City, you're all excited, you get the key to your home and you go inside only to discover that the workshop is not connected to any of the crafting stations out in the marketplace. And you can't send supply lines to your home. This means that if you want to do any building on the inside of your home, you have to manually drag all of your scrap and junk from any of your other settlements to your home plate. Infuriating. This mod fixes it by connecting all of the workshop stations in Diamond City to your workbench in Home Plate. You can dump all of your junk in Home Plate and then go out into the marketplace and use the power armor station, the chem station, the cooking station, and the armor and weapon workbenches. There's also an option to send a provisioner to your home base player home, allowing you to connect that workshop with the inventory of all of your other settlements. It doesn't appear on the map, but it does work. This is an incredibly important mod for anyone who is not getting into the Minuteman settlement building and just wants a nice player home that they can decorate. Thank you very much, DLDRZZ000. Now these last two could potentially be considered cheats, but I'll mention them in case you think that they're suitable for your gameplay. First up is Companion Accuracy Boost by DMVI. I don't know about you, but companions are nothing more than pack mules since they can't hit the broadside of a barn. They could be standing face to face with an enemy, holding a pistol to an enemy's face, and they would still miss the enemy. This makes them completely useless. They can't hit anything in combat. This mod fixes their accuracy just a little bit. They now have accuracy that is more fitting for someone who has grown up in the wasteland and has had to fight for his or her life their entire lives. How likely is it that Preston can't hit anything? He's been a Minuteman his entire life. Or what about McCready? He used to be a gunner, for crying out loud, and he can't hit anything? This mod fixes it so that your companions actually assist you in combat. They are more likely to hit their target. As a test, here's Preston surrounded by 20 raiders. Watch how fast he takes them down.
Man, you picked the wrong...
Not bad if I do say so myself, not bad. Again, it may be a little bit too cheating for you, but I list it in case you want to try it. Thanks, DMVI. And the final one today is Companion Infinite Ammo and Unbreakable Power Armor by TALKIE Toaster. This fixes something that I found to be ridiculous in the game. Your settlers have infinite ammo. You give them a gun, you give them one ammunition, and they will shoot forever. But that's not true with your companions. You have to give your companions every single fusion cell they shoot, every 10mm bullet that they fire. And if you put them in power armor, they plow through the durability of that power armor in moments, meaning that you not only have to repair your own power armor, but you have to repair theirs as well. This mod makes your companions responsible for their own ammunition and gear. Because in real life, would you really be responsible for the gear of all of your companions? Are you really a nanny who has to make sure that your companions are looting enough ammunition? With this mod installed, companions never run out of ammunition, and the power armor that they wear never loses durability. Again, this may be cheating to you, but I list it in case it's something that's always bothered you and you want to fix it. And that is the full and complete list of my favorite quality of life mods. As I said, these are all available on the PC, but many of them are also available on the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One. I include links to the PC versions for your convenience in the description below. Did I miss any that you think are absolutely essential that you can't believe that I would overlook? If so, let me know in the comment section below. I read all of your comments and I use your comments as inspiration for my future videos. If you've got a bunch of your favorite mods that you'd love to share with the Oxhorn community on Discord, be sure to click on the Discord invitation link in the description of this video. We'll welcome you to the community with open arms and you can chat with other like-minded individuals. And if you like what I do and you want to support me in a more personal way, consider becoming one of my patrons on Patreon. Patreon subscribers gain access to a private channel on my Discord server, as well as a bunch of other cool Oxhorn perks. But more than anything, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just so glad you're here watching this video today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow morning, bright and early, with a brand new video.